Good morning, students. We are going to continue with chapter 3 of NCERT, that is human reproduction. In this presentation, we are going to discuss about oogenesis. This topic is very important from CBSE point of view. So go through each and every segment of this presentation very diligently. First of all, recall what is oogenesis. Tell me. Right. That is the process of formation of mature female gamete, that is egg or ovum inside the ovaries. It's basically comprises of three phases: multiplication phase, growth phase, and maturation phase. First of all, you should have a clear cut pictorial view in your mind before going through the text. Look at here, this is oogonia. Oogonia are the mother cells. Okay, oogonia are the mother cells, and they are going to divide repeatedly to form multiple copies of themselves, that is a couple of million in number, by the process of mitosis. And this mitosis event happened during that of the fetal stages of the female. During the fetal stages, the oogonia is going to divide to form multiple copies of itself inside the ovary by the process of mitosis. This is very important point. And after birth, there will be no addition of new oogonia. Whatever the number is being achieved during fetal stages, that's it. And afterwards, no further division or no formation of oogonia will take place. Okay. So oogonia, whatever the number is being achieved during the fetal stage, is the only number of the future egg. There will be no further division thereafterwards. And these oogonia undergo some changes to form primary oocyte. That primary oocyte is going to divide by the process of meiosis. But there is some tragedy, or we can say there is some disruption, and they get arrested at first meiotic division at diplotin stage. Okay, as you know, meiotic 1 prophase 1 is quite complex, and we have 5 stages, and diplotin is that stage where the primary oocyte holds on and do not divide. At puberty, there is some indication these primary oocyte going to divide to form secondary oocyte, and that secondary oocyte you can see is quite bigger than the other sibling cell, that is first polar body. Why it is so? There is why unequational division. As you can see, this is going to form the future egg or ovum. And egg or ovum is the ultimate source of all sort of nutrient for the zygote development. So this cell need to have all sort of reserve food material so that future zygote get all nourishment. That's why this is unequational cytoplasmic division, and this polar body do not participate, and it get degenerated afterwards. It has no role in further egg formation or oogenesis, so it's get degenerated. Similar the fate of second polar body is. You can understand they don't play any role or significant role in oogenesis, so they get degenerated. And after puberty, these meiotic 1 and meiotic 2 division going to be completed. Now look at the chromosomal content. You can see oogonia and primary oocyte are diploid one, and secondary oocyte is the haploid one. Similarly, the egg or ovum are the haploid one. Now comes to the first phase, that is multiplication phase. Oogenesis is initiated during embryonic development. Please highlight this word, embryonic development stage, when a couple of million Gamete mother cells, these are the oogonia, are going to be formed inside each fetal ovary. No more oogonia are going to be formed or added afterward by any sort of division. After birth, there will be no addition or formation of new oogonia. And these cells start division and enter into the prophase 1. And which stage I have told you? That is diplotin stage. They get arrested at diplotin stage and are called primary oocyte. During growth phase, the primary oocytes have some granulosa cellular layer, and they are referred as primary follicle. A large number of these follicles get degenerated during the phase from birth to puberty. At puberty, only 60,000 to 80,000, from a couple of million, only 60,000 to 80,000 primary follicles are being left. The primary follicles get surrounded by more granulosa cells, and this primary follicle having more granulosa cellular layer is referred as secondary follicle. And what happens to that secondary follicle? It's again converted into the tertiary follicle during maturation phase. And primary oocyte within tertiary follicle. Follicle is a cellular layer, and inside that there is a primary oocyte which grows into the size and completes its first meiotic division to form a large haploid secondary oocyte and a tiny first polar body. The tertiary follicle changes into the mature follicle, the Graphene follicle, which ruptures to release secondary oocyte or the ovum from the ovary. The release of egg or ovum from the ovary is referred as ovulation. Okay, the secondary maturation phase occur after fertilization when meiotic division of the secondary oocyte is complete. This is very important. Second maturation phase occur after fertilization, when the fertilization even took place, and when the meiotic division of the secondary oocyte is going to be completed. This second meiotic division result in the formation of second polar body, that is referred as haploid ovum or egg or ooted. When the fertilization event has not occurred, what is going to happen? That is a menstrual cycle. It is a rhythmic series of changes that occur in reproductive organ of the female primates. Is referred as menstrual cycle, and we have discussed it before as well in chapter 1. It occurs in primates. It's an exclusive event for the primate, that is monkeys, apes and human beings. The average interval is 28 to 29 days. The first menstruation at puberty is referred as menarche. During pregnancy, all events of the menstrual cycle just stops or halt down. There will be no menstrual flow during pregnancy. And menstrual cycle stops permanently as we have limited number of eggs inside the ovary. It stops permanently in females around the age of 50 years, and this particular stage is referred as menopause. So we have two important terms, that is menarche and menopause over here. Now comes to the menstrual cycle phases. These are four phases: menstrual phase, follicular phase, which is also referred as proliferative phase, and then we have ovulatory phase. Luteal phase is also referred as secretory phase. Okay, again we should go through the pictorial diagram first. There are four stages being mentioned along with the number of days being required. That is menstrual flow. It completes within 1 to 3 days. Then we have follicular phase, then luteal phase, and then the next cycle is going to be happen. You can see over here, this is the endometrium of the uterus along with the blood capillaries. You can see over here, this is the menstrual flow being represented with a dark thick red line here also. And two hormones, two important set of hormones going to participate. These are pituitary hormone and ovarian hormone. Pituitary hormones are going to be released by pituitary gland, and ovarian hormones are going to be released by the ovaries. So ovarian hormones are the estrogen and progesterone, and pituitary hormones are the luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. And here is a series of the follicles being presented. You can see the primary follicle is going to be converted into secondary, secondary into the tertiary, and finally the primary oocyte is going to be formed. And this primary oocyte is going to be released for the meiosis division, that is referred as ovulation. And you can see the remnants of the follicle being left behind. These are referred as corpus luteum. Corpus, as the word suggests, means remnant of the follicle. They have no use, so they get degenerated afterwards. And here you can see the level of estrogen and progesterone varies. Estrogen just increases when the ovulation gets occur, and progesterone level gets higher when there is the development of the endometrium. Again, the estrogen level gets higher when there is marking of the or starting of the menses happen. Okay, so these changes you need to keep in your mind. Now comes to the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone. The graph is quite easy because there is only one peak in luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. You can see during ovulation, there is a surge of luteinizing hormone or excess release of luteinizing hormone. This referred as LH surge or luteinizing hormone surge. Now, I hope this diagram is quite clear to you along with the days, along with the phases. Now, go through the text section. Menstrual phase, menstrual flow results due to breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus, and blood vessels get discharged through the vagina. The fertilized egg and soft tissues are going to be discharged. Here, you should understand this should be the unfertilized egg. So make a correction over here. This I have done deliberately. I want your sincerity while watching the video. So I'm telling you one mistake in the presentation, that is unfertilized egg, and I have made it deliberately to grab your attention over the PPT. So make this point very very clear. This is unfertilized egg, and the soft tissues are going to be discharged. It lasts about 3 to 5 days. It occurs only if released ovum is not being fertilized. So you can understand from this point as well, this is unfertilized, this is also the unfertilized egg. Now comes to the follicular phase, that is proliferative stage. The primary follicle in the ovary grow and become fully mature graphene follicle. The endometrium of the uterus is regenerated due to the secretion of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, of course from the pituitary, because these are the pituitary hormone, along with the ovarian hormone, that is estrogen and progesterone. It lasts around 10 to 14 days. So move to the next, that is ovulatory phase, in which ovum is going to be released from that of the follicle. The rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during mid-cycle, that is referred as LH surge, and induces rupture of Graafian follicle, that is referred as ovulation. It lasts around 48 hours. It almost take 2 days. Then we have the luteal phase. Luteal phase is very very important. In this phase, the ruptured follicle changes into the corpus luteum. As I have told you before, corpus are the remnant of the follicle and within the ovary, and it begins to secrete the hormone progesterone, which is essential for maintaining of the endometrium. The endometrium thickens further and their glands secrete a fluid into the uterus. If ovum is not being fertilized, the corpus luteum undergo degeneration, and this causes disintegration of endometrium, leading to menstrual flow. Estrogen and progesterone levels rise during this phase. It lasts around 10 to 14 days. That's all for today. Thank you.